I always preferred to be a general assignment reporter with maybe a specialty on occasion, and that became space, the manned space program, and politics. But I like to just to cover ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So there was one time at CBS, and it caused a great deal of trouble for me. They wanted me to move from New York to Washington and cover just Washington and become the chief national correspondent. And at CBS, you could speak up and tell them what you really thought. Sometimes you'd get away with it, but I said, I didn't think that a chief national correspondent ought to be based in Washington. You know, you ought to travel the country, which I really like to do, although I spent a little bit of time in Washington. And I turned the job down, and they put enormous pressure on me. I mean, and I kept saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And they couldn't understand that. And I remember one of the vice presidents taking me aside and saying, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't understand this. And I said, it's not what I want to do. And he said to me, you'll never be a star. And I said, okay, I'll never be a star. It's not what I wanted to be in life. I wanted to be comfortable with what I was doing, covering the kind of stories that made sense to me. And I knew, well, maybe they'll fire me, but I'll get a job elsewhere. And I was fortunate to be in a business where I didn't have to do what other people wanted me to do. And if somebody had said, well, you're not going to be in the business, I swear I would have said, well, I'll go into another business. I've never really, I mean, I've screwed up on stories on occasion, and I regret that, but I've never regretted saying, no, I don't want to work in Washington. No, I don't want to cover that kind of story.